Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn, guys. Firstly, apologies. I think the time was wrong on my old computer. So obviously, it is usual time. I'm in the UK time. I got the UAE time. I'm 3 hours ahead of UK. Sometimes I accidentally put the UK time, but I am actually in the UAE. 3 hours ahead. That's why, guys. That's why it wrote down 7 o'clock rather than now, of course, guys. But thank you so much for joining me. Absolute legends. And thank you for being patient. You absolute diamonds. Please, guys, before I start, please don't forget to please smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, guys, on this Friday morning. Of course, guys, it is Friday morning, guys. Thank you so much, you lovely people. Listen, guys, look, news broke yesterday, as we all know, that Alejandro Garnacho has signed, almost put pen to paper on the deal to sign for Chelsea in a 40 million offer, got a 40 million deal. Now, what do I make of that? 20 million short, 30 million short. But I guess the saving grace in regards to this deal is that we're getting rid of him. And I think that's the most important thing. I think the most important thing for us at the moment is to get rid of Alejandro Garnacho from the football club, because we don't need any toxicity within this football club. We got enough of it as it is. 40 million, no incentives, just a 10% sell-on clause, which basically means if we sell him for 100 million, we'll get 10 million for him, which is very unlikely anyway. So basically nothing. It's just a 40 million deal. The good thing, we get all that money. It is a youth academy product, so we will get all that money. We will get all the money. We won't have to pay anything in FFP and PSR. But my biggest concern is this, right? We got that money in. Great. We got quite a bit of money in this year in regards to loans out and Garnacho, actually. But tell a lie. This is the first sale that we've actually done, isn't it? 3 days before the window shuts. This is the first sale that we've actually done. Absolutely incredible, isn't it, guys? We should have had a lot more. But hopefully that money for Garnacho will be going straight into the transfer funds, and hopefully we can quickly arrange something by Sunday. Obviously, with the news breaking that Newcastle United have signed Walter Murder. I mean, a great signing for Newcastle United. Absolutely. I mean, he's called the German Messi or something like that. Everyone's doing deals, guys, apart from us, and it seems like we're resting on our laurels, so to speak. We're not really working hard enough to get these deals. But look, I don't want to say they're not working hard enough, but they're obviously not succeeding in what they're doing. I honestly, firmly believe, and I always said that I'm going to give it until Monday, 7 o'clock. Anything can happen on Monday, 7 o'clock. But that does get into the realms of desperate time, isn't it? Desperate territory when you're in the last day of the window and you're trying to sign players, and then sometimes you overpay for players, as we know full well with Anthony and players like that. Do you know what I mean? You end up overpaying. And I don't want that to be the scenario. Yeah. But all I care about is what happens to Manchester United. And if we bring in players, fantastic. We bring in players, guys. That would be brilliant. You know, hopefully we will. Hopefully we get some news today. Rasmus Hojlund is close to Napoli, guys. That's going to happen anytime soon. A loan bill obligation to buy, which is expected to be. I wish Rasmus all the best. I wish him all the best. I wish him the best of luck, and I hope he succeeds. In regards to Garnacho, I don't wish him anything. I don't really wish Garnacho. He's let me down. I supported him throughout his time when he was getting abused by fans and stuff like that. I supported him throughout it, and the way he's been conducting himself over the last few weeks and months, I think it's disgraceful. It's a shame. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and yeah, look, you know what I would say is that yeah. Wish him no luck, but I wish Rasmus Hojlund the best of luck. And I hope that Rasmus Hojlund goes there to the beautiful city of Naples, by the way. I'm very close to Naples, Napoli. And I hope he succeeds and he scores lots of goals. And you never know, he may come back to Manchester United, guys. He may be back at this football club. You never know what's going to happen, do you, at the end of the day, guys? But look, Manchester United have got, 3 days to go, in estimate, to go to the transfer window closes. Are we going to do any deals, guys? Are we going to do? The chase is on, as the title says. The chase is on. Are Man United going to do some deals? We're going to have to wait and see, guys. I think we will. I think we'll at least do a goalkeeper. We'll get the goalkeeper in. And then I'm like, okay, the race is on to get a midfielder. Hopefully, we will. Rumours circulating that Man United have cooled their interest in Angelo Stiller. Apparently, Manchester United have walked away from this deal and are not going to be proceeding with Angelo Stiller. So that may be a one that is out the window. So what are Man United planning here? Could Man United come in with another offer for Baleba? Could they shock us all? Could they pleasantly surprise us? Who knows, guys? Could they do that for us? That would be lovely to do to the Man United fan base after everything we're suffering at the moment, you know, having to take be the brunt of the joke all the time on social media and things like that, isn't it, at the end of the day? More news broke yesterday that Mainoo wants to leave the club. What do I make about this, guys? Look, Kobe Mainoo said he wants a loan. He wants a loan. He doesn't want to actually leave. So basically, he doesn't believe in Ruben Amorim. He basically believes that Ruben Amorim leaves, he'll be all right. I don't care what Kobe Mainoo wants. I don't care if he's youth born and bred, Mank born and bred. I don't give a shit. I'll be honest with you guys. I'll be real with you guys here right now. Guys, the thing with Kobe Mainoo, he just needs to be quiet, keep his head down and play football. That's all he needs to do, right? This is why he was dropped in the first place. Guys, this is why he was dropped in the first place. Yeah, I want a loan. I don't want to leave, but I want a loan. You know, basically saying that, Ruben Amorim won't be here long anyway. You know what I mean? That is the culture that we're talking about. I don't care if you have an affiliation or love for Mainoo. I did as well, but I don't care. I care about the football club. I care about the football club, and I care what happens to the football club. If you don't want to play for this great football club, go on the permanent. We'll get someone else in. Make your decision now so we can put that money towards someone else. That's what we should do with players who will be consistent for this football club and fight for this football club and not be inconsistent and not only play when they want to play and not throw up a fit and have a miserable face on the pitch and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you had your opportunity against Grimsby and you were part of one of the most embarrassing defeats in our history. Okay, so there we go. All right. So at the end of the day, if you want to leave, leave. We don't want to say I don't want to leave, but I want a loan. I want a loan. I don't want to leave. I just want a loan. I'm not interested in what you want, mate. I'm not interested. We're not a bank. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're not getting any loans from us and mortgages and things like that. You leave or you stay. It's simple like that. You want to stay, you fight for your cause, you fight for the badge, or you go. And that's what I would say at the end of the day. Man United don't have money to be like at the moment or time to be worried about this at the moment. We got a lot of things that we have to obviously complete. Obviously, the Rasmus deal is almost complete. That's great. Garnacho deal is out of our hands now. He's not ours anymore, guys. Thank you, Garnacho, but no thank you. And that is it. He's out of our hands, guys. And in regards to Kobe Mainoo, look, we're not going to, as we know, the proposal was rejected. It was rejected, and Manchester United said no. And I'm pleased they said no. At the end of the day, great, they said no. And, at the end of the day, but one thing I'm concerned about, guys, the overriding concern for me is that will Mainoo give his all? Will he give 100%? As we know, these days, these players are very petulant. They're very throw your rattles out your pram syndrome-ish. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I would say that as long as he plays for this badge, he plays for the badge, I'll be happy, guys. But if he's not going to play for the badge, and that'll be pretty evident, I don't know what to say. Let's get into some of your comments, guys. Big up, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Big up, guys. I hope you're good, guys. Guys, big up, everyone. Hope everyone is blessed, guys. Thank you so much. Sorry about the thing. Big up, Daryl. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sorry about the time confusion, of course. Morning, Chow. How you doing, my friend? Manager is going to be ruined by these by the United. Unfortunately, players' power wins again. Big up, Chow. Emergency gather up. It seems. Nothing, mate. Nothing. Sorry, bruv. Sorry, guys. Big up. This time is much better for us in the US. I know it is, but it's not for me. I'm actually in the UAE, so I'm 3 hours ahead of London. I'm actually 3 hours ahead of London. That's even worse, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Big up, Coco. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. Of course. Gutted. We will not get more Garnacho, to be honest. We have to say goodbye now, don't we? At the end of the day. Big up, everyone. Big up, everyone in the house. Hope everyone is doing blessed. John O'Connell. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Good. We will buy a midfielder. Look, guys. At the moment, it's looking like. I would say I would not put my mortgage on it. I would say, guys, I wouldn't. I wouldn't bet my house on it. At the moment, it's very late. You never know what's going to happen, as we know that deals can be done before the transfer window closes on the last day. We got until 7 o'clock UK time of the transfer window on Monday. So basically, it will close at 10 p.m. my time, guys. So on Monday. So deals can be done. Deals can be done. Deals can be straightened out and get done quickly. But obviously, when you get into the realms of the final day of the transfer window, and guys, it's the weekend this weekend as well, obviously. So obviously this weekend, we got 2 days which might not even be busy because it is the weekend. Business hours are closed. So we got Monday, and it depends what Man United do. But obviously, when we get to the last day, as we know of Anthony and transfers such as that, prices go up, prices get inflated and things, and it's disappointing, but we haven't been successful this window. I'm sorry, and we haven't. And we have to look at things in a fair way that they failed so far. They failed Amorim so far, and I've said this all along. And, 3 players is nowhere near enough what we need. I mean, we would have been content with I think we'd get a goalkeeper. I think Senna will be a Man United goalkeeper. I'm pretty certain about that. What I'm hearing is that Man United are still talking in regards to Senna and Senna will become a Man United goalkeeper. But in regards to the midfield, look, nothing's happening at the moment in the midfield. No one is speaking about the midfield at the moment. And it's very, very, I won't say scary, but it's a little bit concerning in regards to where we're going as a football club. Because at the end of the day, what I'm talking about is that we're not in a good place right now. And, you know, I wouldn't say that the midfield is the be-all and end-all, because I know about what football is. And I know that if we had a decent goalkeeper, things would be a little bit different right now, wouldn't they? We would have went through against Grimsby, and we would have beaten, probably drew with Arsenal or beaten Arsenal if we had a decent goalkeeper in there, you know? But then you look at the midfield against Fulham and you say that, well, our midfielder was dominated. And you know what? If we had a decent midfield, we probably would have beaten Fulham and stuff. You know, it'd be great if we got a midfielder. I would be happy if we got a goalkeeper. I think we need a goalkeeper. It's a godsend. We need a goalkeeper. There's a lot of murmurs out there from certain sections of the fan base. Oh, you know, Senny Lamens, he's too young. Petr Cech was young when he signed for Chelsea, you know, and they took a risk on him at the end of the day. David De Gea was younger when he came to Manchester United, you know, and that's what we have to remember. Big up everyone. Big up LB. Big up my friend. Has to be otherwise, but absolutely. Big up LB. Big up for staying patient. I hope you're doing well. Big up Kenny. Thank you for staying patient, my bro. Hope you're doing well. Hope all is well, mate. I can see United going crazy on the deadline day and buying 2 or 3 big players. Nothing has changed at United. Yeah, look. I mean, I remember the days when we signed Marion Fellaini on the last day and they tried to hide it from us, and we saw his afro going into Old Trafford and things like that, isn't it? Yeah, look, you know, what I would say is that it's not ideal when you do deals on the last day, because obviously the team that you're buying from, they need money so they can get players of their own. And it's a mad rush. Obviously, we know about David De Gea and the fax machine, the famous fax machine. Of course, guys, we know about that. You know, so what I would say is that, yeah, look, hopefully we get some deals done. As long as we get the deals done, as long as we get a midfielder and a goalkeeper, I think we'll be content with that. I think we'll be happy with that. That's what I think will happen. I do believe we get Senny Lamens. If we don't get a goalkeeper in there, guys, I don't know what the hell we're doing here. I don't know what the hell they're doing here. And they might as well just leave, because at the end of the day, you've seen already 3 games, 3 goalkeeper mistakes, guys. 3 games, 3 goalkeeper mistakes. We could still be in the League Cup right now if we had a decent goalkeeper. At least a goalkeeper could save a penalty, not let it flap like his hands like this. Guys, I remember I went to a game between Man United and Arsenal about 2010. And Man United won the game 2-1. But Arshavin, who used to be a Russian Arsenal international, and he took a shot from about 25 yards outside the box. And remember, guys, I was just behind the goal, Stretford end, row A. I was behind the goal, just on the post, right? So I saw it close up. And when Arshavin took that shot, it went in the top corner. But if you see it close, Ben Foster, who was the goalkeeper at the time, his hand went like this. It went back like that. So it went like that, and it went past him, right? And he should have saved it. If it was a Van der Sar or something who we had at the time, he would have saved it. But Ben Foster was playing in that game. And this reminded me, that reminded me of the Onana performance the other night, reminded me of that. A great goalkeeper has strong wrists. You know, they have strong wrists for whatever reason, but they have strong wrists, right? And basically, I saw about 3 or 4 penalties against Grimsby that should have been saved, in my humblest of opinion. They should have been saved, and the goalkeeper should have at least saved 1. You know what I mean? And we would have went through, you know? And it's not emphasized enough how important that is. And he's a weak goalkeeper. I mean, some people are saying that he let those goals in by purpose. I don't know about that, but, you know, he's just not a good goalkeeper. And it's as simple as that. And that's what we have to admit to ourselves, you know? Good morning, Ellen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Ellen, so Alex 5 years, Klopp 5 years, Arteta 5 years before they started competing in the top. Ruben got 5 months and only 3 matches in his own season before people start screaming for the sack. I know, Ellen. I know. A very low IQ section of the fan base, unfortunately, Ellen, that, you know, they believe that Ruben Amorim is not the guy. Then they ain't got no suggestions who should be the next guy. And then I'm hearing Glazers, who plays exactly the same formation as Ruben Amorim. You know, they don't know what they want. You might as well stick by what we got right now and we just need to be a little bit more patient, guys, with this guy. Before this season started, before this preseason started, I mentioned it and I stressed it and I kept saying it because I knew this will happen. I knew as soon as it gets a little bit treacherous, and as soon as it gets a little bit hostile, we're going to give up on the manager and we're going to forget about the context of what has happened this preseason. If Ineos were competent, they would have signed a goalkeeper weeks ago. We would have envisioned that we need a goalkeeper. If we had a decent goalkeeper between the sticks, we wouldn't have lost to Arsenal. Certainly not. You never know what would have happened against Fulham, but we certainly wouldn't have lost to Grimsby either. So that's cost us, let's for argument's sake, say 2 games. It's cost us this season. So we've gone from like, you know what a good start to the season. Not bad, to, I'm a bit worried now. I'm worried now. That's what's happened now because they have not backed him. They've not got the goalkeeper in, which we so dearly need. They haven't got the goalkeeper in. And it's disgraceful. I'll be honest with you. It is disgraceful. We should have got a goalkeeper in there between the sticks, whether it's Senny Lamens or whether it's anyone else, Big up Ellen. I think we all are, my friend. I think we all are. Morning, Randall. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, my friend. Sanjay, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Morning, Benny. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. What is a time to be a United fan? What a time. Always a great time to be a United fan, isn't it? Goodness me. Sitting there waiting. Thank you so much, Ellen, for waiting, my friend. Thank you. I'm lucky to be old. I remember the good old days like it was yesterday. Ellen, I'm lucky to be in the age I was that I can remember the good old days too. I can remember the whole 90s. And the night, guys, if you weren't there in the 90s was a beautiful time. Let me tell you that right now. Football, everything was just, it was just, je ne sais pas quoi, je ne sais quoi. It was just, football was so good. Life was so happy. And everyone, and I'm not saying that because I'm old. I'm saying that because, and I lived the 90s. I was a teenager, a young teenager. But what I would say is that it's because things were just, the soul and everything about it was all the way up from the early 90s, all the way up to the late 90s. And it went up to about 2000. For me, it went up to about 2004, 2005. Then things started going, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Neil, Fergie would sign some random bloke and they would clutch the league for us. Now we sign the best of the best and they can't pay a 5-year pass. But they're too rich too soon, Neil. They're too rich too soon. They get too much money too soon. They feel like they don't need to do things like that. They don't need to, play for the badge and stuff like that. They don't respect Man United like we respect Man United, of course. John, if Mainoo goes, that would leave 3 midfielders. We need to sign another midfielder. Absolutely. My biggest worry about that, John, is that Man United said no. Man United said, we don't want to sell you. We can't sell you. We ain't got time. So what does that mean? That basically means that we're not going to sign a midfielder if we're reading between the lines and stuff. But my biggest worry about this, about everything, is that if Mainoo wants to leave, is Mainoo going to give 100% for the cause? Are we going to be manipulated again? Are we going to have a player that doesn't really want to play for the football club? Is that going to happen again? Is this going to happen again? Are we going to be going down that road again? Do you know what I mean? We can't be going down this road. Sal, Glazers and Ineos should sell 7 billion plus Newcastle and Saudi, get our club. Fair deal. The greedy, get out the money and another bid for free. I would love the Glazers to leave the football club. Unfortunately, the Glazers are not going to leave the football club. The Glazers are more interested in this regeneration project than anything else. We needed to stop that regeneration project. We needed to get at Lord Coe and people like that to stop this regeneration project. But, this is what they're content. They're in line to make billions, guys. Absolutely. I do, Ellen. I was there. I went to one of his first games against Wimbledon. Keith, United need a keeper, a right wing back, and a midfield. I agree. And all before the window closes. I'm not feeling confident that will happen. The biggest worry for me, Keith, is that Manchester United are not aware that we need a new right wing back. It doesn't seem like we're in for any right wing backs. It doesn't seem that they're spending their time looking at right wing backs. It almost like they're not aware of it. As I said, they're not aware that we need it. And that's a worry because we do. We do. Now, I would go as far to say, guys, and I know this might seem a bit right-wing, but I'm going to do my match prediction, my match preview later on today. I'm going to pick my predicted lineup. So my prediction would be I would do Mbeumo on the right wing. I would do Mbeumo on the right wing because I feel that Mbeumo is better on that right wing. And I think if we play Mbeumo on that right wing, he can get some crosses in to Sesko. And then we could play Mason Mount or Xerxes as that number 10. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, Mbeumo would be more inclined to be in an attacking position. I think that Dalot is too defensive. I think Ahmad, I don't know what's going on with Ahmad at the moment, but, he's proven my point. Yeah, you know what I mean? I would say. And I would say that Mbeumo on the right, Xerxes or Mount as a number 10 with Cunha as number 10 and Sesko up front. I would do that. I don't know what you think about that, guys. Lad was Vogue. My first memories from 96 to 4 years old. I was at the FA Cup final in 1996 at 16 years old. Tybor, good morning, Ty. How you doing? 40 minutes is a laughable, and we have again embarrassed ourselves. It is laughable. When you think about Tybor, we purchased Mason Mount An injury-prone midfielder for over 50 million from Chelsea, you know, with 1 year left on his contract. Can you believe it? Garnacho, 2 years left on his contract, 40 million pounds, no incentives, just a 10% buy-in clause. It is embarrassing, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't mind as much if Man United put that money in towards buying a player. I would much rather take that money if they were not going to offer anything else, and then pull it towards a player and bring in a player. Obviously, bring in the goalkeeper and obviously bring in a midfielder. I would like that to happen. Hopefully it does. Big up, my friend. John O'Connor, Ogume could happen. It could, indeed. So could so could Kamara. Absolutely. Lamine Kamara. Things don't start happening before he's bought Cantona, and that was a big, dirty name in football. Things didn't start happening, Neil. That was way before 1994. That was about 1992. Things started happening when we signed Cantona. Cantona was sort of the missing piece in the jigsaw puzzle. Obviously, he went to Leeds United, won the league with Leeds United. He had a trial at Sheffield Wednesday. We were going to buy David Hirst. We didn't end up buying David Hirst. Thank God for that. We didn't buy David Hirst. And then we ended up buying Eric Cantona. And the rest is history, isn't it, at the end of the day? They have to break through this season all of a sudden, and Scholes and Zidane. They have one breakthrough season, and all of a sudden they are Scholes and Zidane. Exactly, Neil. I agree with that absolutely, my friend. I support Mainoo. He wants to play, but he's been treated poorly. No, I don't. I'll be respectfully media. Bernie Dre. He had a chance to play last season, but he underperformed too. He underperformed, and he had that contract negotiation last season when there was 200,000 on the table he wanted, and he had a thing with his agent. He underperformed. He had one good game last season, which was the Lyon game, right? Now, I don't care whether you are being treated. I don't think he's being treated poorly. I just think he's not been playing, and that's it. He didn't set the world alight against Grimsby. Yeah, he didn't say, and the thing, we only started to play when Bruno came on, and I didn't want Bruno to play, but we only started playing, let's be honest, when Bruno came on. You know, and what I'm talking about, he's not been treated poorly. What he's doing is he's been doing this since last season. Last season, he did the same thing. 200 grand a week, blah, 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 blah. And we were talking about it on this channel, you know, and we were talking about it quite intensively. And I backed Mainoo. But now I'm looking at Mainoo and I say, you're not worth 200 grand a week, bruv. Why? Why are you worth 180 grand a week? Now, if you're holding the club to ransom, right, over a wage, why should he play? Because that's what I'm hearing is happening. He wants a wage, a certain amount of money, and we're not willing to give him that certain amount of money. So why should he play? Why should he be treated like this diamond in the rough and stuff like that? Like poor Mainoo. Why? You know, at the end of the day, if he's not signing the contract, right? Man United don't want to offer him 180 to 200,000 a week. They don't want to do that. So obviously, if he's not playing, then what can Man United do? You know, at the end of the day, he last season I saw Mainoo. I saw where Mainoo played. And Mainoo was awful. No, not the only one, but he was awful, you know. And guys, you know, I don't feel sorry for anything. Big up, my friend Eric Kun. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hey, Sal, you think Wharton or Hojlund is still possible? Anything is possible in this game, Kun. At the moment, Man United are keeping things very close to their chest. The only thing I can envision at the moment, and I've heard about at the moment, is Man United are in constant talks with Senny Lamens. Senny Lamens, the goalkeeper, will be in the club. I'm pretty certain he'll be signing for the club. In regards to the midfielder, that is like touch and go at the moment, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens today. Of course, it's a big day. It's the last day of the week, and hopefully we get some news about the midfielder, because we do need a midfielder, don't we? Absolutely. You can't fight when the man you compete with never gets dropped. I agree with that, Benadryl, and I ain't got no problem with that. But maybe he's being dropped because he's holding Man United to ransom on a contract, which I've heard. So what do you do? Is it discipline? Is it discipline? Or is it, you have to just bow down to him? Why is he giving in? Like, you know what I mean? Even now, I only want a loan. You know? The club is supposed to support, you know, at the end of the day. Benny, Mainoo is another self-serving individual. He wants to make the England World Cup squad. Get your head down, son. Work hard and get in the team. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I'm no player FC here, but Mainoo has been poor every time he's played. He had one good game last season against Lyon, and then he's holding the club to ransom about a contract. Now we're hearing about contracts already. Why do you deserve a contract, Kobe? Why? Have you won the league with Man United? Hell, how many times you qualify for the Champions League? You're one of the pinnacle players in that team. You're one of the essential players in that team in the middle of the park. Why should we bow down to you, Mainoo? Right? You got in the England scene. You had a good year, 1 year, right? But at the end of the day, you're only as good as your last performance. Now, I hope he plays on Saturday. I really do. I hope he plays on Saturday. I hope he tears it up. And I hope we're sat here saying, you know what, Mainoo, bloody hell, what a performance. But now he's come out on Thursday. Thursday, guys, Monday is the transfer window. On Monday is the transfer window. And he said, I don't want to play for Man United anymore. I want to go. How respect is that? Is that respect? Is that respect when basically we got 4 days until the window closes, leaving us short? Ruben Amorim already said he believes in him. He's going to play him, and you know what? And Bruno's going to be dropped. He knows that, you know. But there's only so many places in that team, you know. He tried to play. Ruben Amorim tried to play him last season. He played him in number 10. He played him in number 8, and he didn't before. And we have to look at that. And there's nothing I want more than the Kobe Mainoo to perform for this football club. Big up. That's good for Chelsea. For Garnacho, it's not good, Funcho. That's not good. That's not good at all. Absolutely not, Funcho. You're selling yourself short, mate. You're selling yourself short. Hutchinson, is it Hutchinson? Hutchinson, he's a youth player, went for 2 million less than that, and he's not even played. You've got players like Tyler Dibbling going for more than that. He's a 70 million pound player, and we're selling him for 40. But we're desperate. 10% at buy-in clause is nothing. 40 million is ridiculous. It's bad. Absolutely. That's the standards, Fancho. You've got to stop lowering your standards, mate. Glazers love you, mate. Glazers love you. Kobe did get game time. It was underwhelming. Absolutely, Neil. It was underwhelming. And I'm a fan of his. I was frustrated last year. I'm a big fan of Kobe Mainoo. I know who Kobe Mainoo is. I know what he's like. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm a big fan, but it didn't work. It isn't a bad choice. Big up Ellen. Big up Ellen. I hope you're doing well, of course. This is Revert 7. This is why we shouldn't hype up academy players. They are generational. That said, I'm disappointed with Mainoo for not wanting to fight for his place. And then coming out a few days before the window closes, basically, and saying that I want to leave the football club. What's that do for Ruben Amorim? Do you know what I mean? With the manager and things like that. Fight for your place, son. Go out there and show us what you're all about. Because I watched the Grimsby game, and let me be real here. Now, I know nobody performed, but I wanted to see a proper performance from you, mate. He didn't set up trees. He got a 6 out of 10 probably, but he wasn't bad. He wasn't good. It was average. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're good. Best player on the pitch. He wasn't the best player on the pitch. He was not the best player on the pitch. Absolutely far from it. He was not the best player on the pitch. The best player on the pitch, I think, was Mbeumo, was the best player on the pitch, and he got that goal. I think he was but nobody performed. He's supposed to control that midfield. He got controlled by Grimsby. Grimsby controlled him. They controlled him. Grimsby Town. Like, he wasn't the best player on the pitch. Look, this is not Player FC. We don't deal with that here. And this is what we have to deal with in this fan base. I come from a list of Paul Scholes, Brian Robson, Roy Keane. You think I'd give a damn about Kobe Mainoo? I think I'd give a damn if he's throwing his rattles out of his pram? He's a baby. He needs to grow up and fight for his bloody place. I don't care about, I should be playing. Maybe he should be playing. And I've said that hundreds and hundreds of times. But this last 24 hours has proven to you where his mentality is at. He wants new contract. He wants more money without having to achieve it. Like your generation, every single one of them want money for nothing. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to put their foot in it. They don't want to help. They don't want to do anything to contribute towards anything. I deserve it because I play for England. For goodness sake. Yeah, Gareth Southgate. Anyone's going to bloody pick you for England. Bloody hell, I could play for England. You know what I mean? Good morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Mainoo must be strong and fight. He will get his chances. Absolutely, Mark. I agree with that. It's terrible, actually, if you compare what they sell. Absolutely. It's very bad, Davis. I can't believe anyone's saying that. I hope Ineos don't see that. It's raining cats and dogs here. Big up, my friend. Big up, Revert Sam. Hope we do it. Ugo Ricosso. Yeah, maybe we can get an Agume. Maybe we can get someone like that. Do you know what I mean? Guys. We can't fault the man for wanting to play football, but we can fault him for holding the club to ransom and wanting more money for achieving it. Anything. You know? He's been offered a chance to play football. He's just not patient about it. Right? He played against Grimsby. He might have played again on Saturday. Who knows? You don't know, do we? We don't know. He might have played on Saturday. Who knows? What I heard is that we're going to move Mbeumo to the right, and maybe he might have got his chance on the number 10. You never know. Ruined my early morning jog. Big up, no problem, mate. I'm lucky I got a treadmill, my friend. I got a treadmill. I'll just bang it out on there, mate. Neil, They don't play for the badge like 1 or 2 for the team. Delete, Maguire, Euro, Dorgut, Maz. The rest are stat merchants. Absolutely. We can't build a team around Bruno for sure. We can't build a team around him at the moment. I wouldn't mind Kobe going on loan to get a few more minutes, but who would want to do that on loan? But what would happen to Man United, Ellen? What would happen to Man United? Man United would be left short in the midfield. And this is exactly what we're saying. This is what Man United said yesterday. We can't loan out Kobe Mainoo because we have no way to profit from it. We have no player to replace him. If Bruno gets injured, God forbid, what happens then? Are we going to play a double pivot with Casemiro and Ugarte? And that's what we're talking about. We got no one else. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Good afternoon, Paul. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well, guys. Hope you guys. Best player in the loser team ain't worth much. These players forget they all contributed to a 15-minute place last year. They need to shut up and play ball. Absolutely, Coco. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely. How can people who's treated poorly because he hasn't played in 2 games? People just open their mouths and spill rubbish. Madrid, Barca, and Chelsea has players who hasn't kicked a ball. Oh, hey, look, let me tell you something about that, my friend. What about the Turkish player who plays for Real Madrid? How long did he wait for his opportunity? You know? How long did he wait for his opportunity? You know? What's his name, guys, in the chat? What's his name? And how long did he wait for his opportunity to play? You know, it's just spoiltness, man. Honestly. So do you think that we will bring a CM before Monday? We need one regardless if Mainoo say. I agree, Revert 7. Look, Revert 7, I think there's going to be a lot of dramas and stuff this next few days, of course. We're going to have to wait and see, of course. Tottenham look likely they're going to be... he's completed his medical. Javi Simmons is signing for Tottenham Hotspur. They've signed another player. You know, we need to do business. United looking at disruptions as I squad, as though probably that describes it well, Pearl. As though suffering from PTSD. For sure, as a fan, I'm having bad PTSD now. Don't worry about it. Dysfunctional. That is it. There you go. There you go. It definitely describes this dysfunctional word. Preferably a CM who can play forward pass. It would be great. Yep. Belabor is impossible at this time, probably since the deadline date is approaching. We ain't getting any other TM. Who's your source, Dabisas? Trust me, bruv. Is that your source? We don't know, so let's wait and see. Totally agree. It is a problem when people turn on the manager over and over again. I hope the Ineos make it clear for the players that the manager is bat and they can all get replaced. Exactly. That's the culture that we need to change, Ellen. This is the culture that we need to change. You know what I mean? Onana's chip shit risk. Big up, reverse. Absolutely. That's taking it lightly. Selling Garnacho, Anthony, Hojlund, Sancho, we surely have to bring in a new player or 2. I agree. Rashford on loan, by the way. We ain't got Rashford either. You know, people forget, like, they were talking about Erik Ten Hag, and look how many players Erik Ten Hag had Amrabat, and he had a Varane, and he had all of the players as well. How many players has Ruben Amorim actually got? We've lost about how many players and how many players we brought in. You know, it doesn't weigh up. Do we need to get relegated to become a football club again? Will Glazers leave? No, because they still make money, Ellen. And this is one of the myths that the fan base throw out there. Some of the fan base. If Man United got relegated, let me go into this scenario. If Man United got relegated, Man United do more commercial deals. Man United will still sell out season tickets. The season tickets will already be sold. The jerseys will already be sold. Everything will be sold. Man United will still make money. The only thing that we will miss will be Premier League money. And they can recoup that, as I said, with the commercial deals. Not least the regeneration project that they're doing. So now that they've got a regeneration project, even if Manchester United get relegated, they're in line to make billions out of Manchester United. So they're not too worried about that. I don't think they're actually worried that much, right? Even though it's not good and I don't think it will happen. You never know what happens in football, but, you know, I don't think it will happen. They're in line to make a lot of money regardless. And to be honest with you, it won't affect them. They won't leave. The only way they're going to leave if it hits their pockets. As long as there's a will, there's a way with them, because there's a will with there's a will there's a way with them in regards to making money. They will make money, but there's more than one way to skin a cat, you know, and that's what they do. That's their mentality. They can make money from other things, you know. Sad as it is, big up Ellen. Hello, James. What's going on? Good to see you again. Hope you're well. Onana has wrists like Flappy Bird. Big up. Absolutely. The Glenn Quagmire retro, big up, mate. Absolutely. Cement legs, De Gea, spaghetti wrist, Onana. The player downfalls at United need to be studied. I mean, they weren't downfall. They're just poor from the beginning. I want to bring De Gea into this, guys. He won Player of the Season 2 times and Golden Glove. That guy, he stayed over. He played at a bad time at Man United and he saved us a lot of times, which is more than I could say about the other players you've mentioned. Sancho isn't going nowhere. Sancho's waiting for his contract to run out. It doesn't make any sense for him to go anywhere at the moment. He's going to run down his contract. He may go on loan. He's not going to sign for a football club because if he signs for a football club, he's going to miss out on that big payment, that big payday. You know, that big payday that he's waiting for. Absolutely. That was us. Onana keeping can be compared to those inflatable mans at the used car stores. Absolutely, they're better. I'd rather have one of them, guys. Moses, good morning. Toxicity in United is so bad to this point. Even our ex-players that are supposed to support, some of them don't. Moses, the team are the ones who goes for the head of the manager. But what I'm seeing all these clowns on these channels, on these. I mean, obviously, like people who they take advantage of it. Right? They take advantage of it. You know, what they do, right? What they do, they will go on screen, right? And they'll start mouthing off a load of abuse about the manager. Blah, 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 with their fake 1990s Man United jersey. I know it's a fake one because it hasn't got the Umbro sign on it, all right? With their fake Man United 1990s jersey, right? Do you want me to get a real one for you? What I bought in the 1990s, right? They'll do this, right? And they'll start mouthing off in front of the camera. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. No context. Manager. That is it. Manager. Prats. And that's what they do. They don't look at things from the bird's eye view. They just want clicks. They want likes. They manager out, just like they went in on Derek Ten Hag early. They've gone in on Ruben Amorim even earlier. Madness, isn't it? Gems. We're never going to be in a position to competitive for the top spots if we keep shipping managers in and out every season. We need to dig deep and back the manager. Come on, Gems. We're in it. This is the channel for you, Gems. You're right here. We need more of you, Gems. Definitely need more of you. You are a gem. Absolutely. We need more gems like that. Absolutely. Patience is a virtue, guys. You know? Ruben Amorim, guys, I think some people have some dementia. I don't know, respectfully. Because Ruben Amorim came in January, right? January this year. Sorry, not even last year, this year. January this year to an absolute mess of a football club, right? Players speaking out in the media, players tweeting, liking tweets, whatever it is, guys. Absolutely crazy. His task was to fix this derelict building, which was full of asbestos, right? And after 8 months, even he got to the Europa League final. We know what happened in the Europa League final, but we had some good results. But it didn't work out in the season. We came 15th, weren't good enough. But that's testament to what we are, realistically. You know, after that season, he should have been back this season. Of course, he should be back, right? But the work he had to do last season, you know, and people are bringing in stats from last season, added them together, subtracting that, adding this together and saying, oh, this is the record of Ruben Amorim so far, blah, 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 blah. After 3 games, guys, 2 Premier League games. They're flipping mad, honest to God. And then they cry when they get abused. They cry. They antagonize people and then they cry when they get abused. You know, and this is the problem with them. Don't antagonize. Stop being so reactionary, right? Stop being so reactionary and then bloody start supporting your bloody football team, for goodness sake. Support your manager and stop falling for the same thing that happens time and time again, season in, season out, every single season. Oh, again, managers on the headers on the block. Again, here we go again. Not looking at the context, looking at the players. He's had 3 players in this season. All right, 3 players. And here we are. You know? Look, part of me feels like maybe Ruben Amorim should walk because then we can get a new manager in. And then in 1 year's time, I guarantee you, when we flop again, right? Those clowns on other channels and stuff like that who start calling out the manager are not going to apologize. They're going to say, maybe I was wrong. Maybe we should have given Ruben Amorim more chance. You know? And they act like they're some commercial channels when they're not. They're manipulative. They're manipulative. They are. You see them. You know? They look like bloody accountants sitting there like this. You know? Accountants. You know? And we know who they are. Revert Sevens saying the 90s was better, much better. Absolutely. Ellen, that's why I love this channel. Sal boots out the toxic fans. Wish all United did that. Thank you so much, Ellen. Ellen, look, I call it as it is, you know, and I call when I'm wrong, I will say when I'm wrong. Right? And I was wrong about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? And I was wrong about a few managers as well. But what I would say is this, right? People are not learning from their mistakes. As a football club, we are not learning from the mistakes that we've done over the years. Again, the same thing. Attack the manager. We were here a year ago with Erik ten Hag, right? Sack the manager, sack the manager, sack the manager. And we were like, you know what? It's not going to improve if we sack the manager. And then what did we hear? Oh, anyone could win with this, but these players. Anyone could win with these players. Here we are. Ruben Amorim is the only manager that is tried to ship at Rashford, tried to ship at Sancho, right? Tried to ship at the toxic environment at his football club. Other managers wouldn't even dare do that. Ruben Amorim has risked the wrath of some of the players, majority of the players, a lot of the players, to fix the culture at this football club. And this is why it's a struggle, right? It's going to take time, but blaming the manager is the last thing you do. The last thing you do. Against Grimsby Town, right? You do not need a manager to manage against Grimsby Town. You do not need tactics against Grimsby Town. You just set a bunch of 4-4-2, go out there, play. Right? You do not need any tactics. You don't even need a manager to play. Those players right there exposed themselves. They exposed themselves because we know you don't need mastermind tactics to play against Grimsby. So they exposed themselves, guys, to basically down tooling. Now, if tactics is the issue, right? And I've said this before, if tactics is the issue, please tell me why Pep Guardiola needs $1 billion to spend on his squad. Because if tactics was the be-all and end-all, why would Pep Guardiola need $1 billion to spend on his squad? Surely you can just get me in the team then, because the tactics will work somehow, won't it? You might as well get me in the midfield, because at the end of the day, tactics matters most. At the end, as long as I'm playing in the right position, the tactics matter. But it's not, isn't it? Why do these managers need billions to spend? Do you know what I mean? Exactly. Big up Ellen, by the way. Neil, why can't we question the board as much as clearly let us down absolutely preseason, now getting shafted by the youth and players pushing to play for the World Cup? Exactly, Neil. The biggest overriding concern for me is that a lot of these people are not mentioning the board. Again, they're not mentioning the board. They're just blaming the manager again. Easy target, probably because some of them got connects at Man United and they go into the press conferences and they don't want to upset anyone. That's what it is. Even though they got that platform for Mark Goldbridge or someone like that, they don't want to upset anyone, you know, because that's why they won't call out the board. They never call out the board. They pretend they call out the board, but they don't. John O'Connell. What happens if one of the midfielder gets injured? That's still 3 midfielders. If Mainoo leaves, we've only got... Look, Casemiro's got no legs. He's like Christopher Reeve in this house, right? Casemiro's got no legs. We're left with Ugarte and Bruno, who's himself being played out of position. The only thing we could possibly do is bring in Kone, and obviously he's not ready for the Premier League, or we can bring in another youngster. You know, no, we're not there. Our midfield is not good enough. Whether we got numbers, quantity is not always quality. You know, so if we haven't got the number, it's about the quality. I'd rather have 2 world-class midfielders and nothing else than 5 very average midfielders. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. Big up, John O'Connell. Suggestions for new coaches? Not interested. Lauren Lavenzi, big up. I'm not interested in new coaches because we'll be here in a year's time with the same situation, different tactics. And we'd be blaming something else. And that's what's going to happen. So, big up though, Pranzo. Good to see you. If we have a right wing back on the right side, we'll improve tenfold. Absolutely. There's something that I was banging on about all summer. Sounded like a broken record, but no one wanted to say we needed a Vanderson. We needed someone like that, a Frimpong, someone like that, you know, which we're not even looking at the moment. I'm from the 90s. Big up, Darren. I remember 2009 good. I must say, watching Ronaldo's goal career was so rewarding. Big up, Darren. Good to see you. Absolutely. Big up, Grayo, the legend. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, brother. Morning, man. Hope you're doing well. 146 watching. Only 32 likes. Come on, guys. 50 likes at least, guys. Let's move it up, guys. Moving all up, people. Likes. So please, everyone, can you smash the like and subscribe button to show your appreciation around the print channel? Thank you so much, Grayo. You legend. Thank you so much, my friend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, we missed on Frimpong. Absolutely sleeping FC. Cool. Did you go to a lot of games in the night? Yeah, loads. You name it, I went it. You name it, I went it. I mean, I went to the European Champions League final in the end. So the 90s ended fantastically well. Absolutely brilliant. A beautiful time. Yeah, and supporting Man United, it was like a family. It was like a family. We didn't have all these social media fans and the big mouths and stuff like that. You know, we had proper fans. It was like a family atmosphere, and that's something that I'll never forget. You know, we didn't have all this like, you know, this sensationalist news and stuff. Yeah, we had calls for the manager earlier on, but when we were successful, no one was talking about, oh, that's my favorite team. Oh, that's my favorite. Look, when we sold Paul Ince and Mark Hughes, Andre Kanchelskis and Lee Sharp and these players, and in 95, 96, we were a little bit whoa. We were a little bit whoa. Like, we were like that, but we were never like, get him out of my club. Forget this. What's he doing? Well, he has no clue. He's clueless. You know, and look where we were. Look what we won, you know, at the end of the day. Mad, isn't it? Big up, my friend. Big up. Good morning, Darren, by the way. Hope you're well. I agree, and Boomer on the right. That will be a first-time cross. Absolutely, Darren. That's what we need. We're crying out for that, Darren. We're crying out for that. Play in Boomer on the right. Play him on the right. He'll get those crosses in for Sesko. Trust me. We need to simplify things a little bit. That's what we need to do, and do what we used to do. Man United used to have great crosses into the box. That's what we were so good at. I thought we were really good at that. You know, not anymore. He's the best right flanker we have. Yep. I mean, look at, he scored 20 goals for Brentford there. You know, who was your favorite player in the 90s, Sal? Eric Cantona and David Beckham. Revert 7. Paul Scholes is close, but Eric Cantona. Eric Cantona is the only player that left Man United who I actually cried. Yeah, honestly, the only player I actually cried was that. Alan Paju, is that the Indian Alan Paju? Alan Paju. Oliver Glasner plays free at the back. Calman of Nevers and former England manager Gareth Southgate. Prenzo, thank you, but no thank you, mate. Absolutely disgraceful. Amorim's better than all of those. I'm English, and you want Southgate? He had a world-class squad. He can't even beat an age in Italy at Wembley. My goodness me. Good morning, all Man United fans. At least one bad apple gone already. Yep, we need to win tomorrow. We need some positivity vibes today. We know we are, but we are United. Big up, David. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're blessed. Of course. Plays for the team and crosses many times. Absolutely. In the 90s, there was a team, not a single player. My favorite player in the 90s was Manchester United. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, we were a team. But if you're going to pick some players that changed Manchester United, i.e., the history of Man United, Eric Cantona changed Man United. He got us over the line. Because in 1992, we didn't win the league because we were missing something, weren't we? And we were missing Cantona. We lost to Leeds, didn't we, in the league title? So he was the game changer. He was the game changer. And there was a game changer there, you know? But it's always been Manchester United, of course. We don't care who scores as long as it's Man United. But one thing we didn't have people from the other side of the world talking about sack the manager now, get him out of my club, things who you know what, some of these places that they're talking from have only been watching football since 2004. You know what I mean? And they're talking about sack the manager. They don't understand about patience. They don't understand the game. They don't understand anything about the game. They don't understand the culture of the game, the heritage of the game. They don't know about grassroots football. What is grassroots football? They won't even know about that. You know, they don't know nothing about that. They don't have that patience in them. They're just like, oh, I'm getting banned to that school. I'm getting banned to that college. I'm getting banned to that work. So I want the manager gone now after 2 games. And that's what I want. You know? Loyalty. That's why half of them are single. Absolutely. Love Ahmed, but he has definitely been poor. I commend his attitude. Yeah, but he's absolutely. But performance has to pick up. Not sure if he's struggling at right wing back, but as our best. I mean, what I would say about that, Coco, right, defensively, he might struggle. But on the attacking side, why is he struggling? He's not getting those crosses in. He's being selfish, and that's the one thing I would debate that point with. You know, you could say he struggles in the right wing back position, but against Grimsby, there was nothing stopping him from crossing that ball into the box or making the right decision or doing what he's naturally good at, which is attacking on the right wing. I just don't think he's at that level for Manchester United. I think he's a great bench option. Don't get me wrong. I think we should keep him bench option. I just don't think he's at that level. Watch Mbeumo if he plays on the right. Watch what Mbeumo does. He will get crosses in. But I wish him the best because, as you said there, Coco, he's got a great attitude. Mine was Dennis Irwin because of my school teams, left back, right back, absolutely. Big up, Revert 7. Mainoo is worth 80k a week, no better than at Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace have got players who are better than him, yeah. You know, and we have to be honest with that. You know what I mean? Wharton, for example. Didn't deserve it, but doesn't deserve it. And now Trent, a Juba Championship winner, top assisting defender, was on 150k at the time. Absolutely. Next season, they're going to sell him for 80 million, and we're going to look like cracks, Gladiator Keen. Absolutely. Chelsea can sell Garnacho for 80 million. That's Chelsea. Absolutely. Kobe is on 20 grand a week. I do understand he wants a pay rise, but at the same time, he needs to show that he is available. A pay rise, 100 grand a week, not 200. You know what I mean? He needs to get about the same as Onana, you know, at the end of the day. But it should be rewarded. It should be based on achievements, you know. He needs to show that he is available and up for the task. Truth is, he's injury prone. That's why Ruben is careful. People don't understand that. They won't. They throw narratives out there, don't they? You know, United hardly have any 80 million players, or at least one. Yeah, we're the worst. We're the worst at buying players, and we're the worst at selling players. Can you believe that Garnacho is our 4th highest sale in our history? Can you believe that? Garnacho, 4th. All the players in the world that we've had, Garnacho is the 4th highest sale in our history. Mad. The hyping by fans and toxic positivity gets to these young players' heads, inflating their ego and self-importance. Yep. It's a balance. It's a balance, mate. Media overhyped people, and it overinflates their head. And then they've got other people around them who surround them who blow smoke up their backside. It's what happened with Rashford as well. David, no one is bigger than the club. Absolutely, David. Respect. Absolutely respect. Moses. Big up, Moses. From the look of things, it seems United never prepared for Sir Alex. Nope. There was no continuity. Every policy and rules laid by Fergie was abandoned the moment he tied. Some people blame Fergie for that. Some people blame the appointment on Fergie. Obviously, the Glazers were part of the Moyes deal as well as Fergie. Fergie did want Pep Guardiola, but Pep Guardiola, I believe, had already agreed to go to Bayern Munich. But there were other managers out there which Man United could have got. David Moyes should never been in the conversation. Never been in a conversation about being Manchester United manager. From that moment when we got David Moyes as the manager, everything just fell apart. And it took a while. And it was a bit like a domino effect of bad decision after bad decision, bad signing after bad signing. Everything just went to the pits, you know. And it started with that. It did start with that. Although I would say that when Sir Alex Ferguson won the league in 2013, we weren't that great that season. We weren't that great. You could see the signs were there. You could see the signs were there that this Man United team have had their day, and it could be over, you know. What do you expect? A player's not wanted at the club? No one said he's wanted at the club. Fun show. He's wanted at the club. Let's stop looking at this fun show and start looking at football for what it is. Stop looking at sinister reason and start looking at football. He's wanted at the club. He badly performed. He wanted a big wage. We're not going to pay him that wage. He wants out because he's a mercenary. That's it. It's game over, isn't it? You know, just stop looking at things for the basis that, oh, he fits my agenda. He fits my narrative. Do you know what I mean? It's not about that. We like him, you know. But at the end of the day, goodness me. I like Kobe, but he needs to better a mentality. Absolutely. You can't be a quality quitter at the first order. Why did Gareth Southgate not want to play Kobe Mainoo in the middle? He dropped him for Wharton. You know, and that's why, you know, at the end of the day, you know, goodness me. Kodo. Garnacho will get a reality check at Chelsea like Sancho did. They will boot him out when he realizes the competition is next level. Let's wait and see, hopefully. I don't wish him the best, that's for certain. One thing about these Man United players is that they're too cowardice to fight for position, especially when they're English players. They feel like it's their birthright. Could be. Passport does make a big difference, but that happens in Spain and Portugal and Italy and everywhere you go, isn't it, guys? Absolutely. Mark, good morning. A quick Google shows Baleba is on 12,500 a week and Wharton 30k a week. How much is midfielder scored by Grimsby worth? Thank you, Mark. Exactly. How long has Wharton been playing for Crystal Palace? Every single week. Scored that Man City midfield in the FA Cup final. Look, we're not saying that Mainoo's not worth the money, but come on, guys. Stop blaming the manager for every little thing. Stop blaming, oh, he's been badly treated. Oh, poor you, man. Poor you. Gula, that's the player who plays for Real Madrid. He sat on the bench. You know, he sat on the bench. There's players at Real Madrid sit on the bench. Camavinga sits on the bench. Chouamini sits on the bench sometimes. You got to bite. You got to wait for your opportunity. You know, as simple as. Love it. Mainoo is overrated. He just is a kid, knows nothing. They're rich too soon. They want too much too soon. And that's what it is at the end of the day. I don't think Garnacho will struggle at Chelsea. Most of the attitude come from our lack of a desire to win. He aired it in the most diabolical way, coupled with his missed chances and had to go big up Neil. I hope he fouls, though. This is the runs he made similar to Cunha, hitting the bar and all that. Cunha's going to smash it this season. Cunha's going to be the guy. Absolutely. You know, Mainoo had a chance to absolutely allure the game, but didn't show up. Showed the manager you're worth 200 grand a week. Nicky Butt was way behind Roy Keane most weeks, but worked hard every week. Exactly. Thank you. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, do I need to say more? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored 4 goals in one game. Bench next game. Attitude. That's the kind of attitude that we need to adopt. We need to recoup. We need to get back at this football club. That's the attitude that we need to have, you know? Cunha is frustrated at Cunha is frustrated at little to get first goal. He will get it. Arda Gula, thank you so much, Coco, my friend. Revert 7. Mainoo has done out anything yet. Earn your new contract. Bruno will probably leave next summer. It's time to step up. Exactly. Bruno's going to leave. Every one of those players are going to get the opportunity that they deserve, you know, at the end of the day. Ciao, Arda Gula. Thank you, guys. Massive talent who led Turkey in the Euros, waiting patiently despite insane interest. And for Man United, by the way, Coco. Man United were also interested in Gula as well. Let's not forget. Dembo, morning. How you doing, my friend? It's 2 steps forward and 6 steps back. We need 2 more in. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully we get that. Guys, 35 years at this fan of this club is killing me. When will it end? It's always negative. It's always negative, isn't it, William? Far cry of the times we remember, of course. You know, really bad. It is bad, guys. Yeah, it is really bad. Let me just move this up. If you don't, I'll name it Ruben Amorim. If you don't want to back him, don't be a United fan. Absolutely, Ellen. Absolutely. I concur. Prenzo. And we will be sacking each manager and every one of them in 6 months. Amorim is trying to fix the culture, see the bigger picture. They don't, mate, because let me tell you something, and I don't want to be cruel, guys. There's a few things of this Manchester United fan base, and I'm going to tell you as it is, so I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. There's the fans that like certain players because they look like them. Yeah? That's one, right? Which is wrong. There's fans that basically don't like the manager because they're getting bantered and it's a social media vibes thing, right? That's bad as well. You know, there's fans that don't understand that to be successful in life, you need to look at context, number one, with everything you look at the context, and also look at the problems at the football club. Look at that, you know, look at what he's having to deal with at the same time, you know, and this is what I would say that to anyone, you know, and context is a very important word in my life, you know, and I would say that to you, you know, it's very important to look at that. And understand why things are happening in the first place, you know? So many people have forgotten about the Glazers now. It's disappointing, but so many people have forgotten about the Glazers. It is disappointing, you know? DK, Chelsea sack on a regular and they are doing it better. So what else does it say? Amorim had half a season and he needs to show it something soon or he's gone. DK, this shows you that you've been a fan for a few months. We're not Chelsea, mate. We're Manchester United. Don't you know our history? We're not Chelsea, you know? We're not Chelsea. We don't do things the Chelsea way. We're not Chelsea. Chelsea are a different club. There's less pressure at Chelsea. At the end of the day, we're owned by completely different ownership than Chelsea. You know, look, this is completely different. You know, you think that eight months is enough. Do you want to know what greatness is? Maybe if you're patient, we might have a sustain. You know why there's no teams in the world now that are going to win 2-3 titles in a row? City was the last one. Do you know why that is? Because there's no patience. There's no long-term plan. There's nothing. Right? There's a reason Man United dominated league football for 20 years. You know what the main reason was? People like me. The reason you're a DKA, you're a Man United supporter, is because of people like me and other people in the community, because we were patient when people wanted Alex Ferguson out. We were patient. For you to have a platform, I support Man United. Oh, look at me, I support Man United. Get the manager out. Get him out of my club. Hey, look at him. He had this many. He had that. Look at Thomas Frank. Look at him. Look at him. You know, it's ridiculous, mate. You need to grow up and be patient. Guys, let me tell you something about life. You want to be successful in life, guys. Context, patience. Be it all the time. Remember that, guys. Context, patience. You know what I mean? They weren't apologizing for manipulating Ghana into giving an attitude. Leica, thank you so much, Brenzo. Thank you so much, my friend. I don't see how fans see it as a repetitive cycle, and with every single manager we've had since so that everyone goes for the jugular. No wonder we are where we are. We don't deserve it, James, with fans like this. We don't deserve it. You know, we don't deserve success the way we're going on. You know, it's ridiculous. Guys, big up, absolutely big up, Gems. Great comments, and big up everyone in the stream, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. You absolute diamonds. Please don't forget to join me later on for Chatterbox. If nothing else breaks, of course, there might be some news breaking, guys. Let me just read Tybog. I'm sure Amorim would have already banned all these players' socials, but the Glazers are blocking it. For them, it's all about money, and a bad commercial, absolutely, is also a commercial. This started already under Fergie. Absolutely, mate. I agree with that, Tybog. Great comment, Tybog. Legend, of course. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who's joined me today. Look, you know what? Be patient, guys. That's all I say. Try and be calm, and try and stop throwing your rattles at your pram. You know what I mean? And I want him out now, because I guarantee you, we get Ruben Amorim out. We're not Chelsea. We get Ruben Amorim out now. We get another manager. We'll be failing for the next 10 years. Another 10 years. Because that's what we've done ultimately, haven't we? We sacked managers. We've sacked managers. How many managers have we had since Alex Ferguson left? You know, we sacked managers. We're not far off Chelsea, you know, and it hasn't worked. Thanks, everyone, anyway. Thank you for joining me today. I will be back later on for Chatterbox. Make sure you join me for that, guys. Obviously, it is match weekend. I will be back later on for the match preview between Burnley and Man United, guys, with my match prediction and my team lineup prediction. Guys, join me for that. Have a great day. I'll see you soon, and enjoy your Friday. Friday again. Sunday, Monday, what? Take it easy, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Peace.